Hello and welcome back to another video on the channel. It has been some time, and why has that been? Well, if you haven't been paying attention to the Instagram posts of mine, I was down in London seeing some of the other kings. So we back, and we're back with one of the other kings, one of the best kings. It's the beautiful black man from Texas. It's Danny, or MMA King Chris Jr.
What's going on, guys? Good to see you guys once again. Follow my man, the Scottish Canaan Wolf.
So, as you can see by the background, this is going to be a more up-to-date movie review. Thank you to a certain someone. Anyway, moving on. But we're doing a Blue Beetle review because, funnily enough, I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about this movie, which is quite depressing because I actually thought it was a quite decent movie, and it's probably one of the better DC movies we've seen in a long time, in my opinion. I'll say that. And also, the fact is that I don't know. It's like some people I think are just being a bit harsh on this movie when it comes to what they're saying. So I'll dive more into that. But before we go into this, I also want to do a big shout out to our main man Shmiggy Shamoon Cobra Kai Nation for taking me to the Blue Beetle premiere. So yes, that's how I got to see the movie 2 days early, and I wanted to give a big shout out to him for that as well. So, Danny, what were some of your opinions on this movie?
I hate it. No, I'm playing. Kidding. Just kidding. Nah, I thought the movie was just okay. Like,
Yeah.
it was nothing too. Oh my gosh, this is the best movie of all time. I didn't get those vibes. It was generic. It was safe. I'll say this: if you like Shazam or like the Black Adam movies or the Ant-Man movies, that's kind of what it reminded me of, or whatever. It's like family fun type of thing. So I mean, I have no hatred towards it. I think people are being a little too critical over
Yeah.
it, but for the most part, I mean,
See, for me, I think most people are being a bit too critical. Yeah, you see, they're saying it's safe, it's generic, but the thing is, though, is that it's a superhero movie. It's an unknown. It's a very unknown superhero. Like Blue Beetle was popular back in the 30s. Then they've had 3 iterations since then, and this is the 3rd iteration. This is the 3rd version of that character, and they had a lot of callbacks to the original. They had a lot of callbacks to the original suits within the movie. Oh yes, this will go into spoiler territory, so if you don't want that, it'll be in the title anyway. But
yeah,
that's the thing. Like, I think for doing a modernization of the story and doing it better, because like his character didn't show up until like Infinite Crisis, which he just kind of got thrown in there. He didn't really have an origin. So the fact that they made up an entire good new origin for him, still kept the ties to the original backstories, and they still had the previous Blue Beetles and things. I like that. Also, the fact is that yeah, it is a generic family movie, but I think the life lessons from the movie is very important,
mhm,
especially in today's culture,
mhm,
because so many movies do the opposite of that now, where they're like, you can do everything on your own, you can do whatever, and it's like, no.
yeah,
No. Like, you need family,
yeah,
you need loved ones, even when you're doing your own independent thing. If you don't have people to fall back on once you're being independent, then you're screwed. So I think a
yeah,
lot of people also, I think some of the action scenes in this were really badass. I love the fact that, he's thrown out some
yeah,
WWE moves and stuff. I also thought the design of the costume was really good. Like, it didn't look too cheesy, it didn't look too over the top with visual effects either. It looked really good, and I actually enjoyed the fighting scenes with that.
yeah,
Yeah. One of the funny things for me was definitely the Nana. I loved her. She was fucking hilarious.
yeah,
And like, I know some people might not like that, but to me, it was just a fun thing. Like, to me, it doesn't even
yeah,
remind me of like Shazam or like Ant Man. Like, they were good, but I think for me, it's a bit higher than those for me, because like I'm gonna give it
mm,
a solid 8.5, because like for me, it's because I like the overall story. The comedy in it was good. They didn't have overly political stuff in it. Like, unfortunately, it just came out at the wrong time. There's too many people that don't care about DC movies now because they don't think this movie's connecting onto the new one, which actually it is. And James Gunn has came out and stated that this character is going to be in DCU. So, you know,
yeah,
also, I think a lot of people are hating on it for playing too safe because they were expecting more from it, because they might have a fanboyism for like Sholo, or they might whatever. But for me, like, it was an overall enjoyable movie. It was one of the first movies in a long time I could physically switch off and just enjoy the movie, which
Yeah.
yourself know, King, like, if you can make me switch off, it gives you a testament, because it's been hard for me the
Yeah.
past few years.
No,
So
I agree with you. I do agree with you, man. Just to butt in just for a couple of seconds. Yeah, it you turned your mind off. Like, for me, there were funny jokes, and then there were some jokes of it or whatever. Like, there were some jokes that were, this is supposed to be funny, but I didn't laugh or whatever. So that's how I kind of felt about it.
yeah.
I mean, of course, the Nano, she was funny too, or whatever.
Oh, dude, she had me rolling, man.
I think this is my opinion. What they could have made the movie better for me is if they took George Lopez out a little bit more. Like, there was just like too many scenes of him, in my opinion, or whatever. It's like he was just like right there every single thing. It's like, dude, can Cholo and them breathe for a minute? Like, that was really my main gripe about the movie, but it's not too bad to where like I hate it or whatever. That's what most people are saying.
Yeah. See, for me, like, one of the things that I haven't been agreeing with much is that people are saying the villains were bad and, like, quite generic in this. I actually, because of the way they make you feel and the way they show you how clearly they have no empathy, made me hate them. Like, I disliked them from the get-go, and I was like, "Man, I want to slap this." Like, it actually got me in the feels a bit, because especially when it comes to family, like, dynamics, and what ended up happening to the Blue Beetle's dad. If you have seen the movie, I'm not going to go into too much. I know it's spoilers, but I just don't want to give too much away in case some people, but, like, that's the thing. Like, that had to happen, and I like the way how they were explaining how life works, where it's like sometimes stuff like this happens, but it's so this further down the line can happen. And I like that, because that's what life is really like, and that's why I think a lot of people aren't understanding a lot of some of the subtle nuances. Like, you actually have to, like, dig a little bit deeper than just looking at it, what it is at face value, and that's what they were doing. And it was, some of them were cool, and some of them I will agree. Like, I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. The same with the jokes. Like, there's certain jokes I was like, that didn't land quite well, but then there was ones that had me rolling in my chair, laughing. And see some of the fight scenes, like, I was like, fucking kick his ass, get him, like,
see, on the villains, Adam, how many times have we talked before when we said, like, as far as villains, I don't mind these villains, because guess what? They're just bad. We don't need no really of a good backstory on them or whatever. They kind of force one in with the great villain thing that I'm getting a little sick and tired of. But it was not too much in there, but whatever. Yeah.
See, the reason why I like the way they done it with the main bad man in this was because they never showed it until the very, very end, and it wasn't to justify what he had done; it was to prove that what he was doing was wrong. And it was the opposite of what we've been seeing as of late, where instead of trying to justify it, he's like, "Oh, I am the one in the wrong," and then he learns from it, and then does the ultimate sacrifice. Obviously, it's kind of sucky that he kind of, I think it would be good if he would, like, had lived, and we could have seen, like, a cool, like, Blue Beetle and him team up, but you saw that was going to happen. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think a lot of people just went in with too high expectations for this movie, especially because, like, when it comes to this movie, it's a basis to start with. Not every movie franchise is going to start off with a banger. Like, the Dark, like, for example, when we went back to the Batman Begins, I still love the movie, but I realized how slow the beginning was of it. The thing with this is, like, it wasn't too slow. I think the pacing of the movie was really good. I think some of the life lessons and what they were trying to teach people were really good. There's so much here that is fundamentally better than most DC properties as of late. And also, the next DC movie coming out is Aquaman 2, so I'm sorry, I already know this is going to be the better one. No offense to Aquaman fans out there. I don't care for Aquabuff, and I don't care about Amber Heard, so,
Aquabuff.
But it's true. It's like, Aquaman shouldn't be a long-haired, like, sexualized man. You know, I'm gonna take that back and use it in a context. Why the fuck do we have to be sexualized? He's meant to be a geeky manfish, but no, apparently it has to be a big buff guy with long hair for people to actually give a shit about his
I
character.
mean, the only reason why they took that look was because of the Justice League cartoon that was in the mid 2000s or whatever. Like, cause he has like the harpoon and he like had the long blonde hair or whatever, like Fabio.
Alright, well, sorry, apparently now I can apparently play Aquaman. Okay, fair it is. Here, Marvel, DC, whatever. Wani is phone me up. I'll play any of those characters because at least I know it'll do justice for once, you know? Not that Jason Momoa is a bad Aquaman. It's just the Aquaman they gave him is really badly written, and a lot of those movies are bland. When it comes to the Aquaman version that he plays, because I didn't care for his Aquaman. I fell asleep 10 minutes into his movie, woke up halfway through it, and knew the plot, which you shouldn't be able to do if you fall asleep. So
surprisingly, Aquaman for me, I thought it was okay or whatever. Like, I actually enjoyed it for what it was. It was like one of the better DC movies that we got. Like, surprisingly,
the thing that I liked about that movie was his dad, because it was played by the guy that played Boba Fett, and I was like, hey, crossover, hey, crossover.
Hey, Nicole Kidman was in there too, man. Come on, she was the queen. Like, come on, like.
But like,
back on Blue Beetle though, man.
For me, when it comes to Blue Beetle, I think if you like good superhero movies that have a solid start, you should go watch this. Go give Sholo your support, not just because I'm a Cobra Kai fan. He actually killed it within this, and I actually think that this movie is good. If people come out in the comment sections and they come for me going, oh no, it was boring and generic, then cool. You know what? You're never going to like anything at this point, because you can't like movies anymore. You're too critical, and I'm getting sick of it. Like, I like being critical of movies. Trust me, I'm one of the biggest critics when it comes to certain movies. But the fact that
same here.
My main man can enjoy this. If you're not enjoying it, you clearly just hate movies as a personality trait, because there's no reason to hate this movie. Like, yeah, there's a few things that you might not like, but this overall is a decent enough movie. It's not to this and it's no to that.
Yeah.
So we've gave our ratings, we've given our little 2 cents. So I think maybe we should start wrapping it up.
Oh yeah, for sure. So like, I mean, for my rating, I didn't even get to say it. I thought it was like a 7.8. 7 on a bad day, 7.8 on a good day. Nothing too big, nothing too mug. I don't think it was like 8 or 9. Nothing didn't really impress me, but for the most part, you know. Only other negative thing that I will have to say is his love interest. It just looked like she didn't want to be there. That's the only thing. Like,
for me, it's still at 8.5. Like I said earlier, to me, I like it because it's the first DC movie in a long time I've actually enjoyed. So maybe that is why I've gave it a bit of a high. And I'll be honest about that, and being like, if that is a wee bit of like recency bias, because it has been a long time since I've seen a DC movie that I like. But overall, the movie's good. So we normally do a little teaser, and I know we have probably done one in the last one, but we didn't do it properly because, you know, we might as well know, but we might as well do it now in case people don't know. So next up on the channel, we'll be going back to a place that ironically is usually in the same universe as this, but not just yet anyway. It's back in the 2000s era, and yeah, let's just say Michael Caine and a lot of people like that are coming back. So, I have been Caine and Wolf. That has been MMA King Grease Jr. And we shall see you guys in the next video.
Why are you here?